think that they just need to look within themselves to ask themselves, why does that make me uncomfortable? Why is this person living out their dream just like the guys on the football field? And I think people need to sit in that and say, why is this making me uncomfortable when this kid is just doing what he wants to do? So, Rodney, the Minnesota Vikings are currently trending. They've been trending all weekend, not for Justin Jefferson, JJ McCarthy. Even Brian Flores just had a really big case that he won against the NFL. But they're actually trending right now because they unveiled 2 new male cheerleaders. I don't know if you saw that over the weekend.
Couldn't miss it if I tried.
And I think for me, it's weird because I think that you see a lot of teams, I believe a third of NFL teams have male cheerleaders. I'm not really sure why Minnesota's unveiling has caused such controversy.
For real? You don't know why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it because they're more feminine? What do you think?
See, there we go. So I think that is the primary reason that people have vocalized a bit of discomfort about seeing them. Again, these are people who don't even want to acknowledge that Black Lives Matter. So you already know, and 90% of the league is Black. So you already know when they see this, they're like, hold on now.
It's too much.
What's going on? Yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
I say it all the time, but I covered the Titans for 2 years. They have male cheerleaders. I believe they were one of the first teams to get male cheerleaders. And they did have one of their captains. He was very feminine, and he could dance his butt off. But then they also had more masculine cheerleaders, and they would do stunts. Very traditional,
So
like college.
Bases. Well, you cheered, right? You have a cheering background. So fill us in on the necessity and need for a male base.
Yeah, they're good if you really want to do extreme level stunts. Because a woman is only going to be able to throw another woman so far. But if you have males, they could do one man stunts. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that they can do. And then they're loud. Their voice carries. So when you're actually cheering with the megaphone, you can actually hear.
Do they use megaphones in NFL? I don't think they use no megaphones in NFL games though. I think that's more of like a high school, middle school, college thing.
I want to say the Titans may have had some megaphones one time or two. But anyways,
arena. Anyway, sorry, my bad. Okay, yeah.
Well, it was outdoor. They're outdoor. Okay. But anyways, they do call cheers. They are really not dancers. So I think that that's maybe where things are kind of getting confused because you have cheerleaders and then you have dancers. And maybe the Vikings are more dancers, but they're saying cheerleaders. Like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are really just dancers. They don't cheer. They don't stunt. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're trying to say. I think in the video that people saw of the Vikings dance member, I don't know, he was replicating. Yeah, but he was doing the same exact moves as the woman because it was like a split video. And so I think
that's what I was saying. With the Titans, they had the woman cheerleaders in the front, and then they had a few male cheerleaders behind that were doing just like I would say like a college football cheerleader would do. Like they're not doing the same movements, or even the dance routines are more masculine. They're more it's not as
okay. So that
whippy,
makes
but they had the one, but they had the one guy that was the captain. He was doing the woman cheers, or their dance routine. So I feel like maybe Minnesota, like they shouldn't have did a hard launch. Maybe they should have did like a softer launch, and I
think that they just posted like a TikTok. I think they were both just excited. I don't even think the Vikings had anything to do with like the announcement per se. I think in the aftermath of the gentleman and the young lady making that collaborative TikTok, the Vikings then issued a formal statement of some sort. But listen, I don't give a damn one way or another, right? Like when I watch football, I'm not watching for the cheerleaders, male or female. I think most people who like football really just like football and don't really care about any of the add-ons and any of the trinkets that come with the NFL game. I think the days of that are kind of long gone. Like I don't even really hear my guys, oogling and ogling over cheerleaders. Nobody's buying cheerleader calendars anymore, right? But I will say generally the NFL is very specific in how they brand itself, right? And what they allow. We can't even celebrate touchdowns to a degree. And so because they say that, fans don't want to see somebody so boisterous score a touchdown, right? Like, it's just, there's so much control and they're so meticulous about what they allow in and around their sport that I'm really interested. I was interested to hear why you thought that they felt like this was something they needed to grow the game of football from a business standpoint, specifically. That's all. I wanted to see if you had any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I don't think that it's coming from the NFL. I think it's coming from the teams themselves. And I think that maybe you have advocates that are cheerleaders and the women that were there before saying, hey, like, we want to be more inclusive. I feel like that's where it's coming from. I don't think that it's coming from fans per se, but I do feel like the women in that room are like, I have friends who are really great dancers. And if that's what you're about, having the best dancers out here, then some of them just are male.
The cheerleaders are never the best dancers, but I feel
the better dancers.
This is so. I work for the Wizards. I loved our Wizards dancers, but they wasn't like lit like that. But from a personal standpoint, again, I don't care about this. I don't watch football for this, so it doesn't bother me one way or another. I think the only thing that I'm trying to do is kind of give insight into how I think a large swath of people are viewing this and why there's been so much vitriol towards this man and the Vikings. There's a certain demographic in this country who they always use their children as the ultimate out when it comes to their discomfort. Whether that's books that they don't want to have in certain classrooms or explaining things, critical race theory or gender fluidity and sexuality. And so this is just something that gives them another excuse to be like, no, it's going to affect my kid. I didn't come here to have to explain to my kid anything other than touchdowns. So I don't want this in my space.
And I don't see why it's really not that hard to just say, oh, because they want to.
Yeah, but we live in bubbles though.
I know, but
most people don't have that language.
I know. And I think that they just need to look within themselves to ask themselves, why does that make me uncomfortable? Why is this person living out their dream just like the guys on the football field? Why does that make me uncomfortable?
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Let's keep the football players separate.
No. I'm just saying like that could be their lifelong dream to be a cheerleader. Just like it is. Get paid? I know that, but some people, that is their dream to do. And that could have been that kid's dream. He probably grew up in Minnesota, never seen it before. He wanted to be the person to break the barrier. And he's done that. And now it's making people uncomfortable. And I think people need to sit in that and say, why is this making me uncomfortable when this kid is just doing what he wants to do? Like he has dreamed of doing probably his whole life.
People's personal preferences and beliefs in this time, especially, there's very little room for nuance. It's one thing or the other. And, unfortunately for this man who's, I'm sure, having a time of his life, and the Vikings, there's just a lot of people who, just don't rock with this. Anyway, we're going to wrap this thing right on up. Let us know your thoughts on the Vikings male cheerleaders. Do you think this is a good move, or are they doing way too much? We want to hear your thoughts in the comments section.
And please do us both a favor and head to the link in our description box and go and subscribe to our newsletter.